Troy TrojanVision's Fall Semester in Review. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor, and over the next hour, we'll take a look back at the events and happenings from the fall semester. And arguably one of the biggest moments of the fall was the Saturday the Trojan football team was thrust into the national spotlight when they grabbed a historic win over the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge. Sarah Drake has the highlights from that game.
The Trojan football team walked away with a 24-21 win against the number 25 ranked LSU Tigers Saturday night in Death Valley. And head coach Neil Brown calls this a significant win, but explains why it is not the biggest win in school history.
Huge win for us Saturday night at LSU. I'm careful to say this. It's a significant win. I don't believe it's the biggest win in school history. We won 3 national championships here in 68, 84, and 87. I think that would be disrespectful to those team members to say it's the biggest win in school history. I don't believe that. But it is very significant. And it's significant for our university. It's significant for this community, and it's significant for our football program.
Brown dedicated this win to the Trojans of the past due to the fact that the team wouldn't have been in this position without them.
This win is for all those teams, dating back to 2004, that helped put this program in a position where Saturday night could happen, and that it played the so-called money games and came up close so many times and weren't able to get it done for a variety of reasons. I want all those players, those former players and those former teams to feel like they had a piece of this because they did.
Brown said that this was not the best performance from the Trojans, but that the team played solid.
We still didn't play a perfect game. We made some routine plays, but I don't think we did anything exceptional in the game on Saturday. We just were really solid. We were really solid in all 3 phases.
And Brown said that Saturday's game featured the largest group of fan support he has ever been a part of.
That was the biggest turnout, the loudest turnout by any fan group that I can remember that representing a team that I was part of. And they were loud. I thought they drowned out some of the LSU, especially late in the game. They stayed. They were excited. I thought they did a great job.
And even though the Trojans lost the following week to South Alabama, that loss would be their last in the regular season, as they would claim the school's 6th Sun Belt Conference championship and a trip to the New Orleans Bowl for their success this season. Neil Brown was named the Sun Belt Coach of the Year, and Marcus Jones, who you're about to see in action in these highlights, was named the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. Sarah Drake gives us the rundown of the championship game and reaction about going back to New Orleans.
Freshman Marcus Jones put the Trojans in front 7-3 with his school record 3rd kickoff return for a touchdown this season early in the 2nd quarter. However, Arkansas State's quarterback Justice Hanson gave the Red Wolves a 10-7 lead at the half with a 5-yard touchdown run with just over 5 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter. The Trojans opened the 3rd quarter with a 28-yard field goal by Tyler Sumter to tie the game at 10-all. However, Arkansas State answered back with a field goal of its own to take the lead. On the ensuing drive, head coach Neil Brown dialed up a home run ball on 3rd and 2, and it worked to perfection, as quarterback Brandon Silvers found Trey Eford for a 44-yard touchdown and a 17-13 Trojan lead. In the 4th quarter, Arkansas State took a 25-24 lead with a pair of touchdowns just 88 seconds apart to set up the dramatic finish between the 2 teams. The Trojans started their game-winning drive with 83 seconds on the clock and 72 yards of green in front of them. Silvers opened with 4 straight completions to push the Trojans to the Red Wolves' 43-yard line. However, 2 straight incompletions after a 5-yard gain set Troy up with a 4th and 5 and the game on the line. DeAndre Douglas made a 19-yard reception as he was falling to the turf to keep the drive alive. Following an Arkansas State penalty and an incompletion, Silvers found Douglas alone in the corner of the end zone for the game winner. And some of the seniors on the team talk about what it means to them to finally win a Sun Belt Conference championship.
Like I said last night, I'm just lost. It really hasn't hit me yet. Not probably till I get that ring, but just going back on my whole career here, just 5.5 years ago, not 6, but 5.5 years ago when I came here. It's been a long journey, but, just seeing that up here just makes everything that I went through worth it.
It means a lot, man, just coming from where we came from a couple of years ago and how this program is transformed. It means like we did our job.
Me being a senior, I think everything is just falling in place for me for like a Cinderella moment.
A new semester brought some tasty new options for Troy University students to choose from in the Trojan Center as a newly renovated and expanded food court opened for business. Anna Kate Patterson has reaction from Troy students.
Troy University's fall 2017 semester started Wednesday, and along with a new semester and new students, the campus opened the new Trojan Center food court. While some of the old favorites remain with just a few appearance changes, students are most excited about the new breakfast, lunch, and dinner options.
I am receiving a lot of good feedback, tremendous a lot of good feedback actually, from the student, how happy, the choices and everything, the place looks good. So lines are moving faster as we add more register. So I'm receiving a lot of good feedback.
Mallory Green, a senior here at Troy University, says she's very happy with the new look.
It looks a lot better. I think Troy is definitely stepping it up. We're like getting on up there with like Auburn and Alabama, I feel like.
Along with the new appearance, students are saying they are thankful for a wider variety of food options.
I feel it's a good addition to it. I mean, it's more variety for us to choose and pick up what we want to eat when it's kind of packed in the cafe, so it's a good addition.
When asked what his favorite new addition to the food court is, Bridges answered quickly and confidently.
Steak and Shake. I've been over there quite a bit lately, so I'm trying to stay away, but I was headed over there too.
Ilderim says after hearing the positive feedback from students, all the hard work put in this past summer was worth it.
The beginning of the semester actually is going very well right now. So out of all those construction and all those, the basic renovation, I am very happy right now.
New tables and chairs have also been added to the food court, allowing more room for students as they eat. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And before many Troy University's newest students get a taste of Steak and Shake or meet their professors, they got a little additional introduction to their new home at the annual Odyssey Convocation for incoming freshmen. Seth Hawk gives us a look at this year's event.
Sunday afternoon, Troy University's incoming freshman class gathered in Trojan Arena for the annual Odyssey Convocation as a way to officially welcome the students to Troy University. The Sound of the South provided entertainment, a special message from Dr. Jack Hawkins was shown, and Troy alum Nick Abraham spoke to the incoming class. And as Abraham says, he felt privileged to be asked to come back to speak at Troy.
This was an incredible honor. I was very excited to take this opportunity to come back to my alma mater, see the changes, the way that this campus has grown, the excitement of being on campus with people for the first time is something that I'll cherish. It was a great honor.
During his speech, Abraham brought up the importance of campus involvement and how it can help student success.
Get involved. Just use the opportunity to be on this campus, to explore, learn new things, meet new people, and ultimately make this campus your home. You are a Troy Trojan.
During Abraham's speech, he brought up the fact that the world we live in is a very diverse place, and finding something that we all have in common is a rarity. However, he pointed out the fact that everyone in Trojan Arena had in common one simple thing: we're all Trojans.
We all come from different economic backgrounds, different races, religions. Everything about us is unique, but our common bond is attending this university. It's a microcosm of the entire world. This world is a very diverse place, but being engaged on this campus helps you appreciate and understand how complex the world is around us, and helps you to embrace and learn about other people that ultimately make up the world.
Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A new partnership between Troy University and Troy Bank and Trust is leading the way for future investments into a bank that business students can use. But as Justin Walker shows us, it's not like a bank in the traditional sense.
Troy University will return to the place it once called home in downtown Troy. The university announced a partnership between the Sorrell College of Business and Troy Bank and Trust on Thursday, forming the Troy Bank and Trust Entrepreneurship Program. And with this program, a new kind of bank will be established, the Idea Bank. Here at 63 South Court Square in the old Regions Bank building is where Troy University's Idea Bank will be located, where it will host classes, special events, and provide workspace for students.
The Idea Bank is the Innovation, Design, and Entrepreneurship Accelerator. So what we wanted to do was to create a single facility that we can bring all of those resources to bear on students at one location so that they can maybe do their classwork and study there, but have a place to go that they can focus strictly on trying to get their business started.
The program is designed specifically for business students, and one of those students believes the Idea Bank will be a way to convince other student entrepreneurs to come to Troy.
I'm really excited about this project and be able to be a part of creating this center. I think it's going to help a ton of students to come and be a really attractive thing for students when they look at Troy University and they have these ideas about business and entrepreneurship. They're going to choose Troy University and want to come here because of this program.
Edwards says he's excited to see the results of the partnership and that the students through this program will contribute to the world around them.
We want our students to start businesses. We want them to, take their ideas and turn them into something that they'll have passion about.
The next step will be to hire an architect who will help design the layout inside the building. Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Rosa Parks Museum is home to many artifacts and information about the life of Rosa Parks and the civil rights movement. And in October, the museum became home to a work of art featuring the civil rights icon created by world-renowned artist Noel Hollis. Sarah Drake has the details from our Montgomery News Bureau.
The Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery now has a new addition to its collection of art. A portrait of Rosa Parks created by Noel Hollis was donated to the museum by the Cummings family on Monday, and Trey Cummings explains why his family decided to take part in the donation.
We see Rosa Parks as such a powerful, strong role model, and we really want that kind of spirit ingrained in our daughters. We want them to be able to do anything that they put their minds to. And, we want them to understand the history and see where everything came from, and also hopefully move history forward.
Cummings also talked about what he hopes viewers of the portrait will see when they look at it.
This is a very powerful painting. It encompasses so many things, from the incident on the bus to today. And, I hope people can kind of see the journey. This has not been a short journey. This has been a long journey, and we still have a long way to go.
And after unveiling the portrait, Hollis mentioned where the inspiration for the portrait came from.
I had introduced the Hawkins to Italy through my exhibition there that I had with the mayor, and I thought it would be good to get Troy and Italy united. And during this inauguration ceremony, it was like we had a talk, and they were talking about Rosa Parks, and I said, well, I'd be glad to do a portrait of Rosa.
Hollis also explained why he thinks it's important for students to know the history of Alabama.
And they have to get the education, the true education of the Alabama history and our history of what is true, because all the textbooks I remember really don't mention the racial situation as truthful.
And Noel's painting of Rosa Parks will be on permanent display here at the Rosa Parks Library and Museum. In Montgomery, Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In October, Troy University kicked off a new lecture series focusing on law and invited one of the most successful trial lawyers in the country to be the first speaker. Sarah Singletary has the details.
Noted trial lawyer and one-time governor of Alabama, Jerry Beasley, was the guest speaker at the inaugural speech of the Gibson Vance Distinguished Lecture Series for Legal Studies. Gibson Vance is a member of Troy University's Board of Trustees, and he endowed the series to bring attention to the field of law and give back to his alma mater.
Well, I had the opportunity to go to school here, graduated, 30 years ago, and it was my opportunity to give back to the university that gave so much to me. We were blessed to be able to endow this lectureship series, and a lot of students leave Troy and go on to law school. So I thought it was a good opportunity to let the students at Troy hear from some of the best lawyers in the country, and there's nobody better to start the series than my law partner, Jerry Beasley.
Beasley is considered by many to be one of the most successful trial lawyers in the country. His Montgomery-based law firm has won millions of dollars in judgments for his clients over the years. Beasley wanted to share how some of these cases have benefited both clients and the judicial system as a whole.
Well, I'm going to talk about the importance of the court system, the judicial system, and how lawyers work into the system, and some of the results that we've had that changed corporate culture and maybe, in my opinion, help people.
In addition to his connection to Vance, Beasley is no stranger to Troy University and says he considers it an honor to be the first speaker in the series.
The fact that I was asked, I appreciate that tremendously. Dr. Hawkins is a great college president, in my opinion, the best I've ever dealt with over my entire career. And as a result, Troy has gained tremendously in every possible way.
Troy University is now officially home to a new sorority. Alpha Omicron Pi was chartered as the 6th sorority on campus in September. Antonio Reese introduces us to the newest members of AO Pi.
Past Saturday, Troy University welcomed its newest charter sorority, Alpha Omicron Pi. The organization held its bid day in the Trojan Center ballrooms, where members from other universities and other organizations here on campus helped welcome in the new founding pledge class.
It's so exciting. This is something that I never thought I was going to have a chance to be a part of, just with my schedule and everything that was going on here at college. And now that we're here, now that it's finally happening, it's fantastic. It's the best decision I've made.
With the organization now being fully established on campus, members are eager to show what Alpha Omicron Pi is all about.
So our expectations are really just to kind of get the chapter started. We're really starting with a solid foundation here of amazing women who share very common values, but ultimately we just want to build a sisterhood.
I'm super excited that AO Pi is chartering here at Troy because there's so many amazing women here, and we found some incredible women that represent our values of character, dignity, and scholarship and college loyalty, which is what we'll be bringing to Troy.
Being the chapter is the first here on campus, a lot of the organization's future projects are now in the hands of the new chartered founders.
That's what's really cool, because since we are the first AO Pi chapter here at Troy, it's up to us. We decide what we get to do. It's up to us what we decide how to do things. It's completely up to us. The decisions are all ours, and that's something that a lot of sororities and fraternities don't get to get, and that's a gift to AO Pi.
Antonio Reese, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University celebrated homecoming in October. A week of festivities ended with a Trojan victory. However, before the big game, the community came together for the annual homecoming parade. Seth Hawk hit the downtown square to capture all the action.
Saturday morning, the city of Troy kicked off homecoming day festivities with a parade. Multiple organizations from Troy University, the city of Troy, and the surrounding areas were represented. And according to one Troy University alumna, the hard work being put into the parade by the city was very clear.
It gives you a lot of pride in where you came from and how it's still growing and everybody's attitude about it. So it's really cool to see. Just seeing everybody, people that I hadn't seen in a while, and just the excitement, the atmosphere of it.
With highlights that included dancing in the streets, horseback riding, and old vehicles riding down the street. Troy Chancellor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. says that the homecoming parade is always a highlight of homecoming week.
I thought it was a great parade. This is the 63rd consecutive year that the city of Troy has sponsored the parade, and it's really reflective of the great partnership that the city and the university share. So it's always fun. There's nothing like a small town parade, and I certainly appreciated the fact that we didn't have rain, and that was a thread early.
This year's theme for homecoming was Falling for Troy, and according to Chancellor Hawkins, it's more than just a catchphrase.
Troy is a special university, special place, and I think it reflects the fact that all of us who are involved in this university really are falling for Troy. I don't think there's a beginning point necessarily and an ending point that's so clearly defined, but I think that once you become part of this Troy University family, then it's an ongoing experience, and you continually fall for Troy. I know I certainly have over the 29 football seasons I've been part of this.
The Troy Trojan football team went on to defeat the Georgia Southern Eagles later in the day during the homecoming game. Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
During Troy University's homecoming week, there was a reason to celebrate other than football. It was Troy University's birthday. Trojans filled the dining hall to wish the school they love a happy 130th birthday. Antonio Reese has the details.
So today we serve about 22,000 students. 8,000 of them are here in Troy, but we have thousands of others on our other campuses.
These are the words of Chancellor Jack Hawkins on the 130th anniversary of Troy University, and as he reflects on the past, he looks towards the future.
I know I'm excited, and I think the Trojan Nation is excited about the future of this institution.
This makes 28 years for the Chancellor. He credits the notion that through bonding and understanding with the students, it betters the university as a whole.
You know, this is my 29th football season, and I think I'm even more excited today than I was even 28 years ago. Troy University is a remarkable place, and it's remarkable, I think, because it's one of the healthiest environments for all of us. We have students here from 76 countries. I believe that when you understand each other, you appreciate each other, and then you magnify the value of those differences. We're different in so many ways, but we're alike in most ways.
Troy University's homecoming committee member Douglas Dick speaks on the meaning of Troy's 130th birthday, tying into the theme of this year's homecoming.
Part of our theme for Homecoming Week is celebrating where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. So this is celebrating where we've been. We've got pictures hung up of Troy for the past 50 years, and so we're just celebrating our history. So yeah, it's just really tied into the week very well.
With the celebration came some of the biggest names in Troy, in the likes of Mayor Reeves, head football coach Neil Brown, and a number of Troy City Council, as well as Alumni Association members. Antonio Reese, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University now knows who will represent the school in this year's Miss Alabama pageant, as a new Miss Troy University was crowned in November. Stuart Bradley has the details.
1 crown, 10 women, and magic filling the air. It sounds like the Miss Troy pageant, where a combination of wit, physique, talent, flashy designs, and a dash of magic provides one lucky lady the opportunity to represent Troy University in Miss Alabama. And this year's title goes to Madison Neal.
I had such a peace about tonight. I did not worry. I just took each phase of competition one at a time and knew that whatever was going to happen was already predetermined.
Madison also managed to take home one of the individual awards for Best Swimsuit.
My favorite portion is swimsuit. I feel so fierce and so fun and flirty when I get up there and just strut.
During competition, each contestant has a certain platform or an organization that they represent. For Madison, she was representing addiction awareness.
Silencing the stigma. I really want to be that liaison between the administration and the students here who might be dealing with those problems and those issues.
Madison has a big year ahead of her, preparing for the Miss Alabama pageant, representing the university, her platform, and overall making the most out of her opportunity.
My advice to Madison is just to make every moment of this count, because it does go by a lot faster than you would think.
Stuart Bradley, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Every year, Troy University students honor the lives lost during the September 11th attacks through service in the community. As Sarah Singletary shows, the activity is a part of a nationwide service effort that has a local impact.
Murphree Park is getting a fresh coat of mulch this weekend, all in remembrance of September 11th. This project is one of many in the annual weekend of service that started roughly 8 years ago and has spread to schools, cities, and universities across the country.
We usually do a service project every year just to remember the loss of life and loss of property and the momentous day that was.
Troy University's Office of Civic Engagement partnered with the city of Troy to get an entire dump truck full of mulch dumped into the park.
This park hasn't been mulched in 2 years, so it was way overdue.
And according to Livingston, addressing community needs is what the university-city partnership is all about.
We communicate about service projects all over the city and the county. So whenever there's a need that he thinks of that would be a great volunteer opportunity, he lets me know.
Once the project gets the green light, the Office of Civic Engagement opens it up to volunteers. And on Friday, Livingston and her crew were joined by some helping hands wearing championship rings, the Troy women's basketball team.
At first, when I came out, I wasn't thinking about it, but when I was actually out here, it kind of feels good, I'm doing something for the community, so it feels good.
The Office of Civic Engagement is still accepting volunteers for this project. Sarah Singletary, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Bullying is something that affects more people than we'd like to think. And in November, the Office of Civic Engagement held an anti-bullying summit to help prevent bullying from continuing to spread throughout the campus and community. Chelsea Law has more.
October is National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month. Troy University is keeping the conversation going. The Office of Civic Engagement held its first anti-bullying summit Thursday morning in Howell Hall.
This is the first time we've done an event such as this, and we started to plan it even before recent events have made it very imperative that we have this conversation. And we wanted to bring it to campus just to make Troy a more welcoming environment.
Recently, some Troy International students have come forward with reports of being bullied by other students. Livingston believes that the summit will help create a better campus experience for all.
I think many people might feel unheard, number one. And number two, some people need to hear it. And if we can get those two groups together, I think we can start moving towards a more positive environment on campus.
A person who is a victim of bullying may develop some long-term effects that can be detrimental to their health.
Abuse of alcohol or drugs, smoking, the feeling of isolation, feeling lonely, and it also ultimately long-term can affect their academic achievement also.
Livingston says that when it comes to bullying, there is no real winner.
Everyone's a victim, really. No one wins when there's bullying, because people who bully may bully because they have once been harassed, discriminated, hazed. So I think that it's a culture that needs to be broken.
The Office of Civic Engagement is in the process of getting bullying policies included in the student handbook. Chelsea Law, Troy, Trojan.
September 14th marked International Peace Day, and Troy University celebrated the day on campus with various events, culminating with a peace rally at the International Arts Center. Justin Walker has the story.
In the wake of rumors of a pending campus shooting on Thursday, students gathered at the International Arts Center to celebrate International Peace Day for the first time on campus.
From my knowledge, it is the first year that Troy University has celebrated International Peace Day. We just wanted to take this opportunity to, commemorate this amazing day that people are doing worldwide. This is not something Troy, Alabama is doing alone. We are doing this on a day when people around the world are doing the exact same thing.
Starting at the Hall of Honor and ending at the International Arts Center, international students carried flags of different nations as a way to show support for world peace. The end of the march brought those flag bearers to the International Arts Center, and right here next to this dove, where messages for the National Peace Day rally were spoken. ESCO President Caroline Hughes says that her message to those in attendance is to love each other despite the troubles we as a world have been facing.
We have so much hate in our world right now, and with peace, we can chip away at that hate one bit at a time. That might be an optimistic perspective, but I do like to have that optimistic view, and I believe that we can really make a difference if we're just loving each other.
While some universities are showing division among its students, one student says that she is proud to go to Troy University, where peace is shown on a daily basis.
I think Troy is already showing a lot of peace and love towards American and international students. We already are emphasizing our difference and trying to share everything from our country we have culturally. So I think we're already doing a good job.
Justin Walker.
Living life in peace,
Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Chinese students got to share a little of their homeland in October as they celebrated a traditional festival from China here on campus. Janae Jordan has the details.
With Troy University being an international school, it is important that they incorporate traditions outside of America. So on Friday night, the Chinese students held the MidAutumn Festival inside the Trojan Center ballrooms.
This is like a traditional Chinese festival we celebrate in China. So we do it again right here because we want our students from China, we can just celebrate together.
The MidAutumn Festival is an outdoor tradition where friends and family come together to eat mooncakes and watch the moon, which is a symbol of harmony and unity.
In this festival, we have like the traditional religion in China, which is Chang'e and Houyi. So this festival representative is the reunion. So we provide the mooncake, which is kind of like traditional Chinese food.
The celebration of dancing, singing, and being around friends helps relieve the feeling of the Chinese students' homesickness.
American is kind of like our second home because like we live far with the family, friends. So if we can hang out with friends and we can union with the friend, that's the best things we can do here. So I think that's the happiness things we are.
The MidAutumn Festival is not only a happy party for Chinese students, but it's also a good opportunity for Americans and other international students to experience traditional Chinese culture. Janae Jordan, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's International Student Cultural Organization held its annual ESCO Festival in November. The night featured food, fun, and performances from international and American students. Faith Rosenwald has the story.
Food, music, dancing, and friends. What better way to celebrate the International Student Cultural Organization at Troy University? The 35th annual ESCO Festival took place Thursday night to celebrate culture, promote diversity, and create friendships.
We're here to really cultivate compassion and understanding between international and American students. Recently in the world, it's been a little turmoil. Tonight is just a chance for world peace and to be that solution to world peace.
The festival featured a variety of talents including singing, dancing, guitar, piano, spoken word, and Chinese calligraphy. Traditional cultural dishes were also served to guests.
Often referred to as Alabama's International University, there are more than 800 students from different countries at Troy. But you don't have to be an international student to become a part of ESCO.
I just think it's really important for the American students to make the international students feel like they're welcome here, to make it feel like they're home. But I think it's really cool that we get to be inclusive and the American students get to see more of the culture of their culture versus them always saying our culture.
And if you aren't friends with an international student, Caroline Hughes, president of ESCO, says you are missing out.
Well, it expands people's horizons because there's a lot of American students that come here to Troy and they've never been to another country, they've never even been outside of Alabama, and so international students and American students get to learn from each other from that.
Don't miss the opportunity to explore other cultures by joining ESCO today. Faith Rosenwald, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's international population will increase by just over 24 for at least the next few months. Sarah Singletary explains why.
On Tuesday morning, Troy University welcomed 26 scholars from Caoqing University in China to campus. The visiting scholars will spend the next 3 months on Troy's campus, working with faculty and students and learning about teaching techniques and American culture as a whole.
We are interacting with individuals from another culture, from another country. And so the individuals, the facilitators, the students who will be engaging with the scholars, we will be learning about them and also expanding our understanding of their culture. Now on the other side, for the scholars, they, I hope, will leave this experience with a renewed understanding and exposure to the way in which we teach and hopefully utilize some of the practices that we use in their classrooms.
Troy University's Confucius Institute played a big part in helping bring these scholars to campus as a way to establish a better connection between colleges in two different countries.
I think the Confucius Institute should be a bridge for two universities, and based on it, we want to promote our cooperation between two universities. And as you can see, there are 26 trainees come here, and they will spend 3 months stay here and create such kind of a connection with faculty members of Troy University, and we can have a bright future for the future.
Even though it is instructors on campus now, Rosa Mims says that she hopes the future will bring a different group of visitors.
One of the outcomes of this partnership we hope will result in more students from Chancellors Normal University traveling here to engage in scholarship with us.
And students at Troy University had the opportunity to learn about a few ways indigenous groups incorporate natural medicine into their culture, thanks to an exhibit that was on display in the library. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
A new exhibit about Native American medicinal culture is on display on the first floor of the Troy University Library. The traveling exhibit, called Native Voices, covers how wellness is connected to culture, according to indigenous people across the United States, including those in Hawaii and Alaska.
By having it here, we believe that we're bringing a topic of interest to this area, especially with the Native American population that we have around Alabama, and particularly in this area.
Aside from having informational banners, the exhibit includes 6 iPad stations with testimonies from indigenous leaders, healers, and other community members.
You don't have to be next to a particular banner. It will take you through the entire exhibit per iPad. So the banners will describe the different sections and the topics of the display, but each iPad is in total to itself.
According to Simpson, the library applied for the exhibit's grant 2 years ago and had to wait for it to reach Troy.
The touring period for the traveling exhibit is a 4-year period. It runs from early 2016 to 2020. We just happen to be in the middle of the flow, and it's our time for the exhibit, so it just worked out like that.
One student said she loved learning about the native customs, which she believes can be applied to anyone's life.
Returning to a more natural lifestyle is always pretty beneficial, so I think the Native American tribes really got that one correct, and so we need to learn a little bit from them about that.
Troy University students had the chance to hear from one of the few remaining survivors of the Holocaust in November. Casey Watson has the story.
Students, teachers, and community members came together today in Crosby Theater to hear the story of one of 3 still living Holocaust survivors.
This is a part of telling the story of the Holocaust, and not just telling it historically, but reminding us why we have to be ever vigilant about the things that happened.
In 1941, Reva Hirsch and her family were captured by Germans and taken by cattle cars to concentration camps in Germany. Today, she tells her story across America to educate others on the Holocaust.
We have to go around telling the story because there's a lot of denial going around. If we're not going to open the doors and the windows, especially for the students, the future is in their hands. It's very important that another Hitler will never show up again.
Reva described graphically the deplorable conditions that she lived through during the Holocaust.
But it's unbelievable what I went through, to see the dead bodies, to step with my feet on smaller babies than 7. Piles and piles and piles of babies. And what bothered that still on now goes around the Nile that the Holocaust never happened. It did happen.
After being liberated, she met her husband Isaac, who was also a survivor. They married in 1950 and had 2 children. In 1962, they moved to New York, and in 1992, they moved to Birmingham to be closer to their children and 4 grandchildren. Hal Fulmer says that hearing this story is a reminder of the good that one individual can do.
There's incredible lessons here. The will to survive, why it matters that we take the stands that we do. It's a reminder about the good that a single person can do.
For more information on Reva Hirsch's story, you can visit the Birmingham Holocaust Education Center, where there is an exhibit dedicated to her. Casey Watson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The building named for the man who started the Sound of the South now has a new addition honoring the woman who was with him every step of the way. Vanikia Daniels has the story.
These may not be fair.
On Thursday, as many students and fans sat back, relaxed, and enjoyed the sound of the South during Troy's home football game, in John Malloy Long Hall, a ceremony took place dedicating its rotunda to the wife of the man that created it all.
Well, she's always kind of been the mother of the band. She's always been there. Mom and Dad were both the mothers and fathers to all the kids. They loved us all.
In the very building that is dedicated to her husband, Mary Lynn Long's service and dedication led to the building's rotunda being dedicated to her. Friends and family described the relationship she had with the band, believing she is very deserving of the recognition.
I would say that Mary Lynn is the quintessential great woman of Troy University. She has stood with Dr. Long and guided him and given him strength and done so many things for Dr. Long, but in her own right, she has helped the university grow and prosper, and she is very deserving of this honor.
Behind every great man, there's a great woman supporting him. In the case of Troy University, behind every great band director, there's Mrs. Mary Lynn Long. Although past and current members refer to Mary Lynn Long as the mother and sometimes the first lady of the Sound of the South, when I asked Long to define her role within Troy's most famous organization, her response was this.
Well, I've always considered myself a helper, and I like to help in any way that is needed.
When Mary Lynn was asked to describe the emotion she felt having the rotunda dedicated to her, she stated, "It is very humbling."
Well, it is a very humbling feeling. I'm proud to have it named for me, the rotunda, but I know there are more deserving people.
Vanikia Daniels, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In September, golfers had a chance to play around with Chancellor Hawkins as a way to raise money for one of the Troy's off-the-field athletic endeavors. Sarah Drake has the story from Montgomery News Bureau.
The Troy University Office of Development held their 15th annual Chancellors Golf Tournament at Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail in Prattville on Wednesday afternoon. And Troy Chancellor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. explains what makes this tournament special.
It's an opportunity to generate support for the ministry for our athletics department. And for 15 years, half the proceeds have gone into operations for our ministry, and the other half we've used in the endowment. It was really a banner year for us because we have just passed the $500,000 mark in our endowment.
Hawkins says that this tournament is a fun way to connect with other Trojans.
There's a sense of camaraderie here that's really pervasive. Almost everybody here is tied to Troy in one way or another. You have a lot of really true Trojans on this course, and it's fun to be with them, and it's just another way to reinforce the relationship they share with the university. You know, once a Trojan, always a Trojan, and we want all of our Trojans to continue to come back, participate, and quite frankly, add value to the degree.
And the tournament brought out a lot of people, one being former men's golf player Luke Moser, who explains why he decided to take part in Wednesday's tournament.
Well, I heard a lot about it for my 4 years that I was at Troy, and I know it does a lot for the university, so I decided I wanted to put in my work and try and help out the university.
And Moser said as a former athlete, it was nice to see people support the student ministry.
I just appreciate everyone coming out and helping out the school like this. I know as a former athlete, it's nice to see that people really do care about Troy Trojans, and it's nice to have a lot of support from a lot of nice people.
The Office of Development hopes to raise $25,000 for the ministry this year. Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
Troy University Department of Theater and Dance turned their sights to some younger learners in October as high schoolers visited the campus for a taste of what the department has to offer. Brady Talbert has the story.
For many, the weekend is a time without much learning, but for some theater students, it was precisely just for it. On Saturday, groups of high school students got the chance to fine-tune their theatrical skills at the Day of Theater, a day-long event that theater and dance instructors hope will leave a lasting impact.
A lot of kids come in with a lot of experience in terms of performance and making theater, but really aren't invested in the art of it. So they're coming in and they have a great enthusiasm, but they're not really seeing the ideas behind it and how it comes together. When they really kind of get their teeth into the academic side of theater and then really apply it, it's really kind of amazing to watch that light come on.
Students had the chance to learn about ways to bring a production to life by analyzing how Troy University brought the production of Peter and the Starcatcher to the stage. Attendees got a first-hand experience in creating set designs, costumes, and even theatrical makeup. They also received lessons on the proper way to select and present a monologue, and in true pirate fashion, performed a dance in a college studio. And as theater students learned some new skills that they can take back to their high school productions, they also got a taste of what it's like performing here at Troy University.
It's really exciting because for me, like, my college search has been kind of rocky, so to be able to come here and learn more what they can offer me has been really helpful in helping me make my college decision.
To see how these theatrical skills are used in Peter and the Starcatcher, you can check it out this Thursday, Friday, or Saturday in the Trojan Center Theater. Brady Talbert, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Hall School of Journalism is known for teaching budding journalists the craft and preparations for careers. However, in September, their target audience was a little younger than usual. Chelsea Law has the story.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for September 14, 2017. I'm Kirsten Prince and thank you for joining us.
Watch out! This now unfamiliar face might become a regular for TrojanVision one day. Thursday, the Hall School of Journalism hosted its annual Journalism Day, where close to 500 middle and high school students got a taste of what Troy's journalism department has to offer.
Well, we had a new location and a new format this year, and so I think things went really well. We've heard really good things from the students and the faculty about hearing from our alumni. One of the things that was different this year was that most of our presenters were actually alumni, and then they stayed for a panel so that our university students can talk to them.
Students attended many informative workshops that ranged from production to interviewing and walked away with some new information that they learned.
Well, I did learn in photography you do have to get permission or you could be arrested and go to jail.
Just being creative and not necessarily doing what everybody else is doing. Just being yourself, and that's gonna really allow people to draw closer to you instead of, doing the same thing that everybody else is doing.
A new addition to J-Day this year was a panel made up of entirely Troy University alumni, and they offer advice to students that may help them end up in front of a camera one day.
Just work hard and don't be afraid to take any chances.
The small stuff is the big stuff. And so the more that you can, like I said, adapt to changes, make sure that you got the basics covered, and can market yourself in both of those areas, the better.
Chelsea Law, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This semester, it got a little more difficult for drivers to navigate in the area around Trojan Arena as McKinley Drive, the main artery to the arena, is under construction. Anna Kate Patterson tells us why.
Due to the new parking lot going in between Trojan Center and the Trojan Arena, Troy students have been listening to the sounds of construction all semester, and those sounds aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Beginning Wednesday, the road that runs behind Trojan Arena, McKinley Drive, will be closed from the arena entrance to the roundabout.
They're going to start tomorrow with the connecting the roundabout to the new road that's cut through there. So that's the reason for the closure beginning tomorrow.
According to Dean Reeves, the goal of the project is to widen McKinley Drive to a 3-lane road without having to tear down any of the trees.
As it is now, we're kind of landlocked between the trees and we don't want to take the trees out. So to be able to accommodate for a center lane or third lane in there to accommodate for traffic, they're building a completely new road from the roundabout to George Wallace Drive.
Reeves says that the new, wider road was necessary based on traffic counts, but anyone who regularly takes McKinley should know that depending on weather, the project could last until the first part of April.
They're going to do this phase from the roundabout up to the entrance of the arena so that people will still have access to the arena, and they'll open that piece back up so people have access to the arena, and then they'll complete the other end.
And according to Reeves, the construction shouldn't affect Trojan Arena parking too much.
They did accommodate. They've already built the new entrance into the arena and got all of that squared away and ready to go.
And just in time for the start of Trojan basketball season. The women start their season on Friday. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
All this season, the Trojan football team played their home games in a construction zone, but that won't be the case next season as the North Endzone project is expected to be completed before the Trojans welcome Boise State to town to start the 2018 season. Lindsay Smith gives us a look at some of the progress so far.
News broke back in the fall of 2016 that Troy University will be expecting a brand new North Endzone facility. For most, there was excitement. However, some were still left unsure of what the facility will contain.
Weight room facilities, strength and conditioning, nutrition needs, athletic training, players' locker room, our coaches' offices and meeting space. It's a big space, but it takes a big space to operate a football program.
The purpose of this facility, you ask?
This building's being built because of a need from a football perspective. We were in facilities that hadn't been updated since the 70s and really needed more space and to function as an FBS football program, we needed to make this happen.
Construction began in December of 2016. The expectation is for the facility to be completed by the summer of 2018 and ready for use by the 2018 football season.
We've had some weather along the way, but they've really done an excellent job of getting caught up.
I have to say, it's pretty incredible to see firsthand what's happening in this building behind me. The structure for this building is beginning to take shape as the foundation for this new facility has been laid out. And though the building will not be ready until next year, this new facility is already changing what Troy University has to offer.
The feel of the stadium's changed. I think the sound is changing as the crowds and noise stays inside the stadium, so it makes it a more difficult place to play, a louder environment.
And with that louder environment, McLean says the feedback for this North Endzone project has been nothing but positive.
Anytime people come by or visit campus and look at our facilities, they always want to talk about how beautiful our campus is. And so this is another really feather in our cap from that standpoint as a university.
McLean says that people are already encouraged by what the facility looks and feels like. Lindsay Smith, Troy, TrojanVision News.
High school students interested in a possible career in education had the chance to learn about the opportunities offered by Troy University. Anna Kate Patterson has the details.
Troy University's base lies within the College of Education. Yes, Troy began as a teacher's college, and today the College of Education continues to thrive. Thursday afternoon, the Office of Admissions partnered with the College of Education to put on the first Future Teachers Summit. The summit was open to all high school students interested in majoring in education.
We're really bringing them here not only to show them what Troy University has to offer, to really get them excited about that major and the profession of education.
As representatives of each area of the education program, current Troy students led breakout sessions for attendants who wanted information on one specific focus.
We'll have elementary education, collaborative, P12 and secondary, and then undecided.
And after the breakout sessions, the students will return to this auditorium for a panel made up of entirely Troy University alumni.
They're going to come and kind of tell them their testimony of, graduating from Troy University and where their careers are now. So that's something to kind of light their fire. Hey, if they go to Troy, they can become a principal one day.
One teacher from Dothan brought a group of 22 students to the summit and says that they are all interested in one day majoring in education. She says she had many hopes for the children in attendance.
I am hoping for many things. But one of them is for them to realize that they're not the only ones that are choosing to go in this career. Another thing is the opportunities that are out there for them.
Registration for the event included tickets to Thursday night's football game against the Idaho Vandals. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Hamilton is arguably one of the most popular musicals to hit Broadway in years, and a man responsible for the production of the musical was on campus giving Troy theater students a taste of life on Broadway. Joshua Thomas has the details.
Friday afternoon, Troy University theater students had the opportunity to perform mock auditions for Patrick Vassell, the Associate Supervising Director for the hit Broadway musical, Hamilton.
So I'm here working with students. We just got done doing some mock auditions where students came up and did a short selection of a song that they had prepared. I gave them some feedback and some thoughts. They tried it again, and I'm here this weekend doing a lot of that and a lot of working with students here in the performing arts.
Troy junior Mallory Wentz, who sang Gimme Gimme from Thoroughly Modern Millie, says that while she was skeptical when she first heard about the opportunity, she's happy it worked out.
I think it's amazing. Sometimes we underestimate the connections that our teachers have. And when I heard about this from Tommy at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, let's watch this flesh out. And then it did. And I mean, I told my mom it's great because Hamilton, musical theater wasn't really accessible to people until Hamilton came. And now, like, my sister listens to musical theater now, and my parents know Hamilton. So, like, getting to tell them about it, they're impressed, and like it's just really cool, and like recruitment and stuff.
Senior Margaret Criswell, who sang What the F from If Then, says she was thankful for this amazing opportunity.
Oh my goodness, I am so thankful, so grateful to our faculty and the university for bringing him here. And I mean, he's the guy who casts the shows, like he's casting the national tour right now. So for him to just to have the opportunity to be in front of him is amazing.
Joshua Thomas, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's theater department brought the story of Peter Pan to the Trojan Center stage. However, the show was a slightly different take on the character than most people are used to seeing. Jessica Prince shows us how.
Troy University's theater department had their final dress rehearsal for their upcoming play, Peter and the Starcatcher. The popular story of the boy who wouldn't grow up takes an exciting twist as the audience enters the magical origin of Peter Pan and company.
I feel very excited. I cannot wait to see what the audience is going to think about it. This show is full of play and adventure, and so we've really discovered new things about our characters. We've been doing dress rehearsals for about a week now, and so it's really exciting once things start coming together to get like all of the adrenaline.
I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I can't wait for people to come and be a part of this with us. It's been really, really fun to work with the actors and technicians and designers to create this world and just see what they come up with to make it come to life.
I think that everybody's in for a really, really great show. The students have done a phenomenal job and they've been working really, really hard. It is tons of fun, and if you are interested in Peter Pan or fantasy or being a kid again or just seeing really great, really funny, really entertaining theater, then this is absolutely the show for you.
This show is planned to run Thursday, October 12th through the 15th, and the following weekend, Thursday, October 19th through the 21st. Tickets go on sale Thursday, October 12th.
Tickets are available at the Trojan Center box office right around the corner from the Barnes & Noble bookstore, and they're also available online at troytheater.org. We've got 3 different ticket prices actually. It's just $10 general admission, but $5 with the Troy student ID, and then we also will do student flash ticket sales in the Trojan Center down in the food court on Thursday and Friday of this week and next week, where tickets are $1. So that's a great chance to get a really inexpensive ticket to an awesome show. I think a lot of different kinds of people will enjoy this show. I think that it's for the young and the young at heart. We've been saying that it's for the kid that's still in all of us, and it really is kind of an adventure.
Jessica Prince, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And that wraps up our look back at the fall semester. We hope you join us again in the spring for our next installment of Semester in Review. For myself and the rest of the crew here at Troy TrojanVision, thanks for joining us.